Hey, I am here with Michael Simmon from the Rescue Mission.
Hello.
You are the CEO of the Rescue Mission.
I
Is
am.
that correct?
That is.
Um, how do you feel when people call you Michael Simmons?
I've heard that my entire life, so it doesn't faze me.
Okay.
Michael Simmons,
Yeah.
Michael Simons,
Yeah.
Michael Simon. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that a lot.
Yeah. Glenn Powers, Michael Simmons.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's whatever.
Yeah. Um, okay. So I've been getting to know Michael a little bit this morning, and it's been great. So the sermon on Sunday was about God's heart for the poor, specifically from the book of Proverbs. So I've been wanting to talk to people who have given their life to this
Mhm.
and who have thought through these questions a lot more than me. So enter Michael. Okay, let's start off with we're talking about the poor. The scriptures mention the poor
Mhm.
a lot. Um, so in a city like Visalia,
Mhm.
who are we talking about? Who are the poor, quote unquote?
So in a city like Visalia, I really think that a really first indicator is somebody who's facing food insecurity, right? And so that could be somebody who has a home. Maybe they're in an apartment or a house or something like that. But if they've got kids, maybe if they're skipping meals so that their kids don't have to, or if their kids are skipping meals because they don't have an option, that's a pretty good indicator. And that I'm certain that that exists
Yeah.
here in Visalia. Clearly, there's a homeless um, issue. That there are a good number of people in Visalia that are experiencing homelessness, or Tulare County more broadly.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean those are probably the biggest pictures
Yeah.
of what poverty in Visalia looks like.
Yeah, that's super helpful. Yeah, food insecurity, maybe not knowing where their next meal or couple meals are going to come from.
Yeah,
That's a good indicator of poverty, um, and housing.
yeah,
Not adequate housing, not clean housing, or just no housing.
correct. Yeah, I think like if you're somebody if somebody's living in a space that is unsafe or unsanitary, generally probably not really intended for human habitation.
Hmm.
Um, that's not probably that's an excellent indicator of poverty as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. Okay, so something that we talked about earlier. Uh, we're talking about the poor in Visalia, but it's a little bit different when we're talking about the broader world, the majority world, or even the third world.
Yeah.
Um, what does it look like in a country like Africa or India, Kenya? Like, what does it look like, and are there differences?
Yeah, I think that that's an important distinction, that as we think about poverty, that it's in my mind at least, it's kind of the first world poverty
Hmm.
and third world poverty, that they're on an entirely different level. Imagine a spectrum of poverty where on this end is third world poverty. We're talking like babies with distended bellies,
Hmm.
that type of thing. People literally dying from hunger. That's what third world poverty looks like, and it first world poverty can't really even like touch that, right? It's now listen, I don't want to I'm not an expert on all things poverty, but I would, and I don't but in any way want to indicate that like there aren't some people in America who are experiencing significant extreme poverty, because I'm sure that's true.
Yeah.
But more broadly speaking, first world poverty is I would say that third folks who are in third world poverty are looking at those first world poverties and being like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had that. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing."
Yeah.
What do you mean the government gives you money for food? That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Where can I get some of that?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah, there are no food stamps in Kenya. It's
Correct.
something you said earlier.
Yeah.
That's
I
helpful.
mean, maybe there are. I don't know. I'm not like a Kenya expert, but
Yeah.
but generally, like in the West or in the first world countries is probably a better way to say it, because it's important to like that poverty in Mexico looks dramatically different than poverty in California, or
Hmm.
poverty in Mississippi, or poverty in anywhere in America, right? Or it's a significantly different experience,
Yeah.
even though they're a Western country.
Yeah. So there are typically less or no safety nets in a lot of
Yeah,
these other majority world
yeah,
countries where we usually do. And you were mentioning earlier, and I appreciate this, that that's not to That's not to undermine the seriousness of some of the poverty here in
No, by
America.
no means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or God's heart for them. But it's helpful to know that we're talking about two different things.
Yeah, two different things entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, I think that it's important that we understand that like God's heart
Mm-hmm.
beats just as passionately for the poor in Africa as his heart beats for the poor in Visalia. Like
Mm-hmm.
he cares desperately for them
Yeah.
and about their well being.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, getting practical here. Should I give money to the guy on the side of the road? This is something that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. Driving down the road, this guy in front of Taco Bell, he's got a cardboard sign, or maybe he just, your window's down and he asks you for money.
Yeah.
What should I do?
So it's what I would say is it's really I'm going to make some blanket statements. And I recognize that it's a blanket statement, that it doesn't apply to the 100% of the population of folks in Visalia or Tulare County who are who are panhandling on the side of the road. But here's generally what we know about the population of folks who are panhandling, is that they are probably, the chances are very good that they're struggling with some sort of substance abuse or some sort of an addiction. And so I would personally not recommend giving them money. Instead, if you want to buy food for them or provide hygiene items for them, I think, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, like what that person needs is connection, right?
Mm.
And so, being willing to just go, hey, how's it going? What's your name? My name's Michael. Hey, man, are you hungry? Can I go buy you a burger? Would that be okay? And just engaging with them in that way, because look, the reality is that person's probably been ignored by 1,000 people that day. And being seen is really important,
Yeah.
right? And connecting.
Yeah.
It's in so many other spaces in our world, we use phrases like, you got to earn the right to be heard, right? Like, and you said something I really appreciated earlier, that like we in the West think we kind of operate under this Western savior complex. Like, hey, look at the guy on the street. I got that. Here I go. Which
Here
is not.
I come. Da, 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 da.
Watch me save the guy on the street.
Yeah.
And that's nonsense,
Yeah.
right? Because his situation or her situation is very complicated. It is complicated by if they're using drugs or if they're not, the trauma that they're experiencing. Maybe they have mental illness, all of that.
Yes.
The situation is fraught with complications. And so, but even so that's not me saying don't go talk to them. But it is me saying be cautious.
Yes.
Because while not everybody who's living on the street is like looking to knife you, like pull out a knife and stab you, somebody might be. Right. And so there is a need for like compassion, but also some caution.
Yeah.
Right.
And that creates compassion too, and empathy when you realize that these are complicated situations. And it's likely that this person is addicted to some kind of substance, but that's also understanding that it's very difficult to get out of that addiction.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to just peg somebody like in a real tight knit category. Like, oh, I know you, I know what you're struggling with, I know exactly what to do to rescue you.
Yeah, I mean, I heard it said once before. I think I shared this with you earlier, that the gentleman out of Austin said this one time, and it just impacted me so strongly. He said that if you didn't have a mental illness when you became homeless, you will soon. That the trauma and the stress of homelessness will create in you some sort of either a mental illness or a substance abuse, because like you can only operate in that perpetual kind of fight or flight mode for so long before you seek some sort of self-medication.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's helpful for us to know. And to be clear, so you're not recommending money, but it may not be harmful to give some food, buy a meal. Could
100%.
Yeah. They could experience some love and connection from that.
I think, yes. I think like what I would say is, I would absolutely not recommend money. Don't do that. That's just me. That's my opinion for what it's worth. but food is great. Hygiene is great. Prayer is a great option.
Mm.
Uh, but also it's, it's not like, hey, here's some food. Like, you got it. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if that's what you
Throw a burrito out the
throw a
window.
burrito,
Yeah,
good luck, man.
yeah,
Like it really is like the value in there is seeing that person as somebody who God created, Jesus died for,
yes,
and that they're hurting in ways that you cannot imagine. And so asking them their name, hey, like from a distance, right? Like, hey, what's your name, man? How's it going? Hey, my name's John. Hey, John, I'm Michael. Is it okay if I talk with you for a minute? Yeah, sure, no problem.
yeah,
And then John, hey, are you from here? Like just like some sort of connection, right? John, I'd love to buy you lunch. Would that be okay?
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be great. And then like at some point, as believers, like we want to say, like, look, you like God loves you. And this isn't the life that I don't think this is probably the life that he intended for you. And so like, is there some way I can pray for you or some other way that I can help you?
yeah,
Like I, I work for the rescue mission. So, like bring them to the rescue mission.
yeah, yeah,
Like there are services available for folks that want help.
yeah.
And we're not the only show in town, but we are,
Hmm.
that's who I work for. So
Totally. And that's a perfect segue. So what do you guys do at the tell us more about the rescue mission, what you guys do, your vision, and because maybe we'll meet somebody who has a need and we might want to take them there,
yeah,
So yeah.
for sure. So the rescue mission is really, the work of the rescue mission is focused around helping addressing what we call life controlling circumstances, right, of addiction or homelessness, right? So the way we do that is through a couple of different things. Um, our primary services we offer, if you're hungry, we can feed you. We offer a nightly dinner. We're serving 200 people a night dinner.
Okay.
And there are no like, just show up at 4 o'clock and have dinner.
Yeah.
If you show up any other time of the day, like, and you're starving, we're going to feed you. We'll give you a sack lunch or something.
Okay.
So
Are there any requirements just for that meal even? Do you have to check any boxes or can you
great question.
literally come in off the street and get a meal?
We do have one requirement, and it's that they have some sort of photo ID, and
Okay.
that feels like saying that out loud. Every time I say that out loud, makes me kind of go like, yeah, this is a thing. But here's the reason why. And you asked it earlier, and I loved the way you asked it. You said like, am I enabling them by giving them food? And I don't think so. But also like for us, we want people to try to take some step forward, right? And an ID is the most basic requirement. You can't get a job. You can't get medical benefits without an ID. You can't get social security benefits or disability if you qualify without an ID. You can't get housing without an ID. And we can help them get an ID, right?
Oh,
If you
that's
don't
awesome.
have one,
Yeah.
right? And so
So they could show up without one and you have support even for that.
absolutely,
Yeah,
and
that's
so
awesome.
because the reality of homelessness is like, hey, my stuff gets stolen all the time, right? So if somebody steals my ID, what do I do? Right? Well, it's not like you walk into the DMV and they're like, "Oh, sure, here's a replacement." They have to mail you a replacement ID. Well, if I don't have a home, where does my mail go?
Mm.
It comes to us. And so you can use the rescue mission as a safe mailing address. Well,
Yeah.
they'll send it to you, or they'll send it to us. You can come pick it up, and while you're waiting, we're still feeding you. Like you get a little voucher that says, "Just waiting on my ID." But I've done my part, and now I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Because our heart is not to be like, nope, sorry, no food for you.
Yeah.
Like the soup Nazi. Like that's not us. No food for you.
No soup for you.
But it really is like, hey, brother, like take a basic first step forward.
Mm.
And honestly, most people have IDs. Like, and if they don't, we're going to help them.
Okay.
So,
That's excellent.
so we do that. We also have shelter. We offer emergency shelter for men, women, and children. And I know you're going to ask me, so I'm going to preemptively answer it.
there
Like,
you go.
what are the requirements to get in?
Okay.
To get into our shelter, you do have to be able to pass a drug test. And here's why. When you're experiencing homelessness, the trauma of that, I mentioned it earlier, this kind of it's like Bruce Banner and the Hulk, right? Like when you're in that perpetual fight or flight mode, you cannot imagine you cannot reason a brighter future for yourself. And so when they come into shelter, the first 30 days of shelter is just about like decompressing. It's be here, be safe, be well fed, be well rested, be clean. and just give yourself a chance to breathe a bit, right? And then we'll let them stay for 6 months in shelter, but if they're kind of working the process, right? But after 30 days, we're going to connect you to a case manager, somebody that can help you identify a pathway forward, something to help you. Hey, like, you don't have to live on the street. What barriers exist, and let's help you overcome those things.
Yeah.
And so,
So you're more than you're feeding them, you're housing them, and you're helping them to the next step.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so the reason why they have to pass a drug test is because if this guy over here in the bed next to you is working hard to like be safe, to make a change, and you show up and you're using, that's not safe for them.
Okay.
And so we need to create safety for all of our residents,
Yeah.
so that they have the ability to move forward.
Yeah.
It's just about creating safety.
Yeah. It's fantastic. So I can meet somebody, take them into the rescue mission, and as long as they have their photo ID, they can get their meals. As long as they can pass the drug test, they have a place to stay.
Yeah, and even and I'll tell you, like, even the drug test piece, like if we can make, I'm not going to say that we 100% of the time turn people away. Like, we've got a safe room on our men's side, and both the men and the women's side, we've got a safe room. So if you show up and you're like, hey, I know I'm not going to pass a drug test, but I'm really tired of living on the street, and your attitude, actions, and behaviors are in line where you're not going to create an unsafe environment for everybody else, we'll bring you into our safe room. And let you detox there. If it's a substance that you can detox, that you can sleep off.
Yeah.
There are some substances, like alcohol, for example, that you need a medical detox. And if you want to come into shelter, we'll help you. Like, we'll take you to the hospital, we'll pick you up and bring you back.
Wow.
But it's unsafe for you to do that on your own.
Right. Yeah.
And so, because the other thing we offer is a 12-month recovery program. It's an addiction recovery program. It's residential. They stay with us for 12 months. They're getting biblical discipleship. They're getting professional counseling. They're doing group therapy. They're doing work therapy. They're getting a full kind of spectrum of services to help them overcome their addiction. Right. And so what happens is we'll meet people on the street, or they'll come into shelter, and we'll engage with them in relationship, and they'll be like, dude, I just don't I got to do something different. Like, I can pass this drug test, but I have a problem. Right. And then they have the option of coming into our program, and letting God do what we call the slow work of redemption.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like, the rescue mission.
Love that.
The rescue mission, I get the question a lot, like, what does it mean to be a Christ-centered kind of social services provider like we are? And it means two things. It means, one, that we 100% believe that God can and still does do miracles, that God, if he wanted to, could in an instant bring in freedom from addiction, freedom from mental illness, complete and utter restoration like that, if he wanted to.
Yep.
And he still moves that way. So we make space for that. We ask him, Lord, move miraculously.
Yeah.
But that God sometimes chooses to work through the good gifts that he's given his creation. Things like an understanding of how the brain works and the benefits of therapeutic counseling or medication, right? And that also is a gift from God.
Right.
Right. And that often it does mean a slower path.
Yeah.
That some folks get miraculously healed. Like, praise God.
Yeah.
I wish they all did. But some don't. And some, it's a slower work.
Takes some work. Yeah.
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 And it's not less valuable or less miraculous. It just is slower.
Yeah. I was going to ask about the spiritual growth opportunities at the mission. So is that part of that 12-month program you're talking about? Because I've heard about classes and Bible teaching that happens over there. So that's all part of that program.
It's all part of the program. We're really focused on all of the dimensions of wellness, right?
Yeah.
We want a physical wellness, emotional wellness, mental wellness, spiritual wellness, financial wellness, occupational wellness. Like, we're really trying to help you on the back end of your 12 months. We really want you to be as set up for success as possible.
Yeah. Come on. Well, this is such a gift to our community and our city. I'm embarrassed that I'm learning all of this now. So late, I've
It's
no
all good,
little
brother. It's all
parts and
good.
pieces, but I'm getting the full story late, but better late than never. So this is awesome, Michael. Just kind of in closing, um, what do you? So you've been doing this for at least a few years.
Yep.
You also attend church. You also love Jesus. What's your heart like for the church to know about this subject?
Boy, that is such a good question. You know, I think what I would say to the church is like, is that these are people, right?
Yeah,
Are they addicts? Probably not always, but maybe.
yeah,
Um, could they be violent? Maybe. Could they have a mental illness? Maybe. Um, but also that's somebody's dad, somebody's mom, or somebody's sister or daughter.
mm,
Um, and so what I would say to the church is like, there's no like I'm not there's no shame. Like I was telling you earlier, like a buddy of mine said one time, like we were talking about the injustice in the world, and he said, "What? Well, like man, what's your plan? You gonna address all the injustice all by yourself?" He was like, "You are responsible to do the good work that God has predestined for you to do."
mm,
Like, so you be faithful to obey what God has called you to do. And if it's to talk to the guy on the street, respond in obedience.
yeah,
If it's to donate to the rescue mission, respond in obedience. If it's to donate to some other cause that has nothing to do with poverty, please, by all means, respond in obedience.
yeah,
Like, not everybody, this isn't everybody's problem um, to fix.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, absolutely.
Like, I feel weird saying that out loud because like you're going to preach about poverty and tell the church get involved, and I'm here going, no, that's not everybody's problem, you know. But also like in terms of like doing the work, right? Like
Yeah,
it is everybody's problem to see that person and see somebody made in the image of Jesus
yeah,
and to love them like He would love them because
absolutely.
you know I don't know how we're doing on time, but I'm just going to go for it,
No, no,
you
no,
know.
we're
And
good.
so
We're
like
good.
one of my favorite stories of Jesus is Jesus and the leper, right? Like where the leper comes to Jesus and he says, uh, Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. He wasn't doubting Jesus's ability to like heal him,
Hmm.
but he was a leper, and the entire society had said, "Stay away." Like the rules around leprosy were bonkers. Like I'm a leper,
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
away. And like Jesus, the way he responded was so beautiful. He didn't say, "Okay, be clean." He like walked up and he touched the leper
mm,
and he said, "I'm willing, be clean."
yeah,
Right? He solved the question of his heart because he saw him for what he was.
yeah,
Right. And so, like, for us, like, they don't have leprosy. Right. And, like, the folks who are on the street that were experiencing extreme poverty. Um, Look, you asked the question earlier, like, well, do some of them just want to live on the street? Yeah, some of them do. And
yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah,
I mean, there's no use saying anything other. Some of them do want to be homeless, but not all of them.
yeah,
Most of them don't. Most of them wish they were not an addict, but they are.
yeah,
Uh, Most of them are hurting terribly.
yeah,
You know, when you get to know their stories, like it's one thing to look at that guy and be like, oh, he's an addict. But what you don't know is that his mom might have introduced him to meth at the age of 9,
right.
or his dad abused him, and you know, or whatever. Like you just don't know. Like the stories that we hear at the rescue mission are heartbreaking.
Mm,
Like that thing I said about somebody being introduced to meth at 9, that's a real life. Like that's one of our graduates.
yeah,
Like, of course you struggled with addiction your entire life because your mom gave you drugs at 9.
totally.
How awful is that?
Yeah,
And if we look at him and we go, oh, he's just an addict, you just pull yourself up by the bootstraps, like, good luck. The thing I want to tell the church is if you think that you could pull yourself up by the bootstraps, if you got it addicted to drugs at the age of 9, prove it. Like it's this work is serious
mm,
and there's real pain
yeah.
and real brokenness. Gosh, I'm getting heaving. I didn't know all this was going to happen. Sorry.
It's good, man.
But like, but that's the thing. Like what I want the church to hear is that those are people
Yeah,
who have real pain, but still desperately loved by Jesus,
come on.
and could use somebody like you who loves Jesus just as much
Yeah,
to tell them about it.
Yeah.
and to point them in a different direction. And look, like, you're not responsible for the saving of those people.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus is the Lord of the harvest,
Yeah.
not Michael, not Glenn, not you out there. Like that's his job.
Yeah.
My job is to love that person and go, hey man, it doesn't have to be this way.
Yeah.
Like, we could help. Do
Yeah.
you want some help?
And Jesus, who literally was the savior, had such a one person at a time model most
Yeah.
of the time. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's what I was kind of hearing you say is it's the takeaway is not, okay, let's get together and get a blueprint for solving systemic poverty. You know, it's
Yep.
like
Gosh, no.
that's not the takeaway is to love and value the person in front of you. And that could look like a lot of different things. You know, it could look like prayer, it could look like taking him to
Mm.
the rescue mission.
Yeah. When I first got in this line of business, I was so fortunate. I got mentored by a woman named Pam Morrison. Hi, Pam. Who had been doing this work for 30 years.
Mm.
And I knew nothing. And so I was like, Pam, like, hey, can you teach me? Help me understand. Like, show me around. And so one day I was like, Pam, like, what's the answer? Like, and she goes, there's not an answer. There's 1,000 answers.
Mm.
There's answers for each person. There's not one answer. It's complicated.
Yeah.
And so it's hard and it's complicated, but worth it.
Yeah. So helpful.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks.